Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, I want to share with you how to actually fade dark spots, cutting through all the BS, all the marketing that brands throw at us, and share with you, based on my own experiences with hyperpigmentation, the 5 skincare ingredients that actually work. These are tried, tested, and slapped on my own skin and delivered really meaningful results. They're backed up with scientific data that prove how effective they are, and in today's video, I want to share with you what's made the biggest difference to me. I think most of us have been on some form of hyperpigmentation journey. After all, who doesn't want to achieve a more even skin tone? So in today's video, I'm going to share with you all the know-how so that you can make the right decisions when it comes to your individual skin's needs. Sit back, relax, and let's talk fading dark spots fast. Now in today's video, I'm going to share with you what I call my core 5 ingredients when it comes to tackling hyperpigmentation, fading dark spots, and discoloration. And all of these ingredients and the products that I mentioned alongside them have been tried and tested on this face over the past 5 years of my own hyperpigmentation journey. As always, here on Mad About Skin, these recommendations are entirely sponsorship and paid partnership free. I turned down all that coin because I believe in speaking from the heart and not the wallet. So if you want to support me as a truly independent voice in the skincare community, the very best way of doing that is by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. The more likes a video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So it just means as many people as possible can discover our wonderful Mad About Skin family, and for that I'm so grateful. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So as I said, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing my core 5 ingredients when it comes to fading dark spots effectively. These are what I call my core 5, but when it comes to your own approach and your own skincare routine, you can pick and choose from these. These 5 used together have given me the very best results, but some people might not want to have 5 additional ingredients in their skincare routine. Fewer might work for them, and that's absolutely fine. My motto in skincare is use what works for you, and this is really just to give you all the information you need in order to make the right decision when it comes to your own routine and circumstances. So kind of always bear that in mind. I have listed and linked any product that I mentioned in today's video down in the description box below, so if you want to check the price point, read the reviews, or make a purchase, all there for your convenience. But I don't want this video to be like 20 minutes long. I think it can be short, sharp, and to the point. So we're just going to delve in, and first and foremost, let's talk vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is often what the mind goes to when people talk about fading hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and discoloration. It's wonderfully well studied and understood to be one of the most effective over-the-counter hyperpigmentation treatments. And honestly, based on my own experiences, that stacks up. Vitamin C should be like the first ingredient you incorporate when you're talking about tackling hyperpigmentation and dark spots, but choosing the right one is key. There are loads of different strengths, different formats, different versions of vitamin C's out there. It can become a little bit overcomplicated. So just to strip it back, I would recommend most people going with a 15% concentration of vitamin C. It's something called an ethylated ascorbic acid. Now, vitamin C comes in many different forms. You can get pure form, you can get derivative form. And in between these sits something called ethyl ascorbic acid. And this is a stabilized form of vitamin C. Now, this is my personal favorite form because it's stabilized, so it lasts a lot longer. You're not racing through to use your vitamin C before it expires, but it's also less irritating on the skin. If you use pure form vitamin C, you'll generally get quicker results, but it can be quite sensitizing and irritating. So I will generally say most people could benefit from an ethylated ascorbic acid in around a 15% concentration. Now, if you already have your favorite vitamin C, cling on to it like it's your best friend, continue to use it. This is just food for thought for people that haven't yet found that one. Similarly, if you have super sensitive skin, you might want to go for a vitamin C derivative, which will take longer to work, but will have a lot less side effects and irritation. So again, that motto of using what works for you really applies here. But for most, a 15% strength of ethylated ascorbic acid is going to give you the best results. And I have 2 products that I honestly am loving so much at the moment. So first and foremost is this. This is the Allies of Skin 20% Vitamin C Brightening and Firming Serum. They recently changed the name of this. Same formula, different name. I'll leave an image of it here, so in case you're a little bit confused as to why it's called something different online. They changed the name, but it's the same formula. This has a 20% dose of vitamin C in ethylated ascorbic acid form, so slightly higher than that 15% that I mentioned. So it will work slightly quicker in terms of the results, but it's also paired with glutathione, which really turbocharges the results you'll see from this one. I would say this is the fastest acting vitamin C I have ever used when it comes to fading dark spots and discoloration. So if you are impatient, you want those quick results, this is the product that I would go for. Beautifully well formulated, and they also have some ingredients in here to dial back sensitivity, so it's great for almost all skin types. This comes with a slightly higher price point, so if you don't mind waiting just a little bit longer for those results, you don't want the super quick wins, you're happy to wait a little bit longer, but you want a similar product at a much more affordable price point, you could reach the Remedy for Daily Defense Vitamin C. Again, this has a 15% dose of ethylated ascorbic acid, so that sweet spot between pure form and derivative form, just absolute perfection. Packed full of glutathione too, so very similar formula to this. I just find it takes a little bit longer to work, so it depends on your level of patience. This is the gold standard in terms of vitamin C in my eyes, but it comes with a higher price point. That Remedy is a great dupe. You will just have to have a tiny bit more patience, but yes, reach for like a 15 or a 20% vitamin C in ethylated ascorbic acid form and team it with glutathione, and your dark spots will start to fade away so much quicker. Now, up next on this list of the core 5, I want to talk alpha-arbutin. Now, alpha-arbutin seems to always get forgotten about in the conversations around dark spots and discoloration, and it's a shame because I like to see it as a booster ingredient. On its own, will it transform your skin complexion and achieve more even skin tone? No, it won't. You need to use it alongside other actives to get the very best results. And by pairing vitamin C, tranexamic acid, azelaic acid with alpha-arbutin, it just boosts up the efficacy of those actives to give you like a turbocharged result. If you haven't tried alpha-arbutin yet, definitely worth it because it's really gentle and it pairs well with almost all skin types. So it's one of those universal ingredients everyone could use to just get a little extra boost to their skincare routine. I think one of the most affordable and effective on the market is the one by The Ordinary. I've yet to find one that really compares in terms of price and performance to this one, so that's the one I'm going to recommend. Use it, love it, slot it into your skincare routine, and you'll just see the rest of your actives working that a little bit more effectively, a little bit harder for you, and this is a great way of just elevating without needing to have a whole set of new skincare. Alpha-arbutin, hidden gem, but one that's definitely an ingredient that's worth looking out for when it comes to fading dark spots. Now let's come on to two ingredients that I think are the real like core of everything, and that's azelaic acid and tranexamic acid. Now, there seems to be a myth in the skincare world that you have to use these two ingredients separately. I think that's because they both have acid in the name and we're told not to layer exfoliating acids on top of one another. These aren't exfoliating acids. You can absolutely and should absolutely use azelaic acid and tranexamic acid together. They work with similar outcomes but in different ways, and so they really double down on the benefits of each other, and I like the perfect pairing. So tranexamic acid calms and soothes inflammation in the skin. It's got great anti-inflammatory benefits, and this is important because most of the sources of our dark spots and hyperpigmentation in the first place is inflammation. So anything you can do to reduce down that inflammation in the skin is going to mean you're producing less excess pigment in the first place. So it's like future-proofing against future dark spots and discoloration. I would say to everybody, tranexamic acid is an absolute must because it also works in a second way, and it helps to achieve more even skin tone by preventing the pooling of pigment in certain areas. So we end up with dark spots because we produce excess pigment, and then the skin distributes it unevenly. So we'll end up with patches here, there, and everywhere rather than a more even skin tone. Tranexamic acid helps that pigment to just be spread evenly across the skin, so it becomes less noticeable. It's just a wonderful ingredient that I would recommend everyone have in their skincare routine. Again, compatible with all skin types, so it's one of those easy ingredients to slot in. In a similar vein, and actually when it comes to recommendations for tranexamic acid, one of my absolute personal favourites, and you want to be looking for like a 3 to 5% strength for the best results. One of my personal favourites is by Naturium. They do a great tranexamic acid, which is super inexpensive and works really well. Again, at that sweet spot, because I'd be looking for a strength of between 3 and 5% for the very, very best results. Similar with azelaic acid, this works in two ways. First and foremost, it calms and soothes. So similar to tranexamic acid, it prevents that inflammation, that irritation, which leads to the skin triggering its defense mechanism, which is to turbocharge the pigment production. It stops it at its source, and that's really, really important. It also can inhibit some of the enzymes which are needed in order to produce the excess pigment. So it really just dials it right back. But what it also helps is to eradicate and break apart the pigment that's already pooled. So it works in two separate ways: prevention and cure, which is why it's just such a wonderful ingredient. I would say, again, most people can tolerate an azelaic acid in their skincare routine, so it's one of those universal ingredients. And make sure you definitely do have one if you're using high potency actives such as tretinoin, high strength retinoids, exfoliating acids. These things can all trigger inflammation in the skin. So by reaching for an azelaic acid to use alongside it, it'll just counteract some of those side effects and restore the equilibrium. I believe genuinely that azelaic acid is a core non-negotiable in most people's skincare routine, and there's lots of great ones out there. Again, Naturium do a really affordable option. I would be looking for something in and around the 10% strength. Some people go to 15% for quicker results, but that can be a little sensitizing. So between 10 and 15% I think is the sweet spot for delivering maximum performance with an azelaic acid. I love the Naturium one. I personally reach for this. This is the Allies of Skin Azelaic Advanced Clarifying Serum. This is great because it has some other anti-acne benefits, and I'm quite acne prone, so this works well. But there are lots of wonderful azelaic acids out there, and I'll dig out a video I did with my favorite products, and I'll link it up there in case you want more recommendations. I really do believe though, pairing tranexamic acid and azelaic acid together in your skincare routine is the best way forward. And it's a little bit of a shame that it's impossible to find a serum that actually contains both of those active ingredients in the right concentration. But don't worry. I actually got so frustrated in the lack of a dual action serum that I created my own. And launching like next week, we have the Mad About Skin Dark Spot Serum, which is going to have 10% azelaic acid. It's going to have 5% tranexamic acid, so the perfect strength to deliver maximum results, and a good dose of 2% alpha arbutin too. So you've got 3 of this 5 all in one serum, and it's going to retail for $17.99 UK, which is about $20. So really inexpensive, and like the best way to get 3 of these core 5 all in one serum. So that actually launches in a week's time. So if you did want to get on the pre-release like waitlist, where we'll have a discount, like an exclusive discount code and first shipping, so you can get it super quick. If you did want to get on that, just go on to the website, which is linked below, and use the contact us section, fill it out and just say, please add me to the Dark Spot Serum waitlist, and I'll make sure you guys are the first to hear about it, and there'll be an exclusive discount thrown in too, so it just brings that price down even further. You don't have to have it all in one. That's a really convenient way of doing it, which I created just for this. Make sure you have your tranexamic acid, your azelaic acid together in order to maximize the results. Now last, but by no means least, I want to talk about copper peptides. Now, copper peptides really get forgotten about when it comes to hyperpigmentation, dark spots and discoloration, because I think people see them more as anti-aging, less focused down on dark spots and discoloration. But copper peptides are fantastic anti-inflammatory agents. So again, we just spoke about how inflammation is the #1 enemy to an even skin tone. So anything you can do to reduce inflammation is going to pay dividends, and copper peptides are one of the best ways of achieving that. So most of us will already have a copper peptide somewhere in our skincare routine. If you have, you've already got this stage covered. But I just wanted to mention it today because I don't want people to think of copper peptides just as anti-aging. They're also great for fading dark spots and discoloration. They will also help at the margins as well to dial back some of that pigment production by eliminating and inhibiting some of the enzymes present in the skin, which again are going to prohibit that excess pigment production too. So it has a multitude of different ways, but it's its anti-inflammatory benefits that I think really drives forward copper peptides benefit. So yeah, don't neglect your copper peptide action. And I would say if you're using it for hyperpigmentation, use it twice a day. Most of us will use our copper peptides just once a day for anti-aging in the evening. To get the anti-aging and the hyperpigmentation benefits, use it twice a day, morning and evening. You're going to be using a lot more of the copper peptides, obviously, because you're using it twice a day. So you might want to go for a more affordable option to allow you to do that. I use this one from my own brand. This is the Mad About Skin Copper Peptide Serum. Again, super inexpensive for a high dose 3% copper peptide amongst other peptides too. It's really a powerhouse peptide complex, but it's those copper peptides used on a morning and an evening. It's going to get you that anti-aging, but it's also going to get you that hyperpigmentation fighting too. Whatever copper peptide you have, it will work for this. Just use it in the morning too. But some people might want to go for a more affordable option. If you're using it twice a day, in effect, you're going to go through twice as much. So that might just be something you want to consider in order to maximize the results and benefits without actually having to spend a whole lot more. And then that's it. That's my core 5. And hopefully a lot of you guys already have these ingredients in your skincare routine. If you don't, you might want to slot an additional one in order to get the best results. But it is as simple as that. Please don't forget your sunscreen. I know that no dark spot hyperpigmentation routine is actually worth doing if you don't already have a broad spectrum sunscreen. I am never without mine. I slap it on and I make sure that it is, delivering for me all day. Use these actives once you have your sunscreen game on point. And if you want to know a little bit more about the sunscreens I'm using at the moment, my favorite recommendations, I covered it all in the video, which I'll leave a link to up there. But yeah, always like to mention sunscreens because it's kind of like the non-negotiable. The rest you then build on top of that. But yeah, that is how I personally achieved a more even skin tone, fading my hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and discoloration. And these ingredients actually work. So don't let the big skincare brands sell you their snake oil. They're overhyping their own formulas. Shop strategically. Focus down on the ingredients and the best products that contain them. And honestly, your hyperpigmentation journey will be so much easier. Let me know your thoughts. Have you tried any of these products? Do you have any other recommendations? Sound off in the comment section below. And if you've made it this far, if you've made it to the bitter end of this video and you're part of the bitter end crew, let me know by leaving the blue dot emoji. I am wearing blue today. We talked about copper peptides. Leave the blue circle dot emoji in the comments if you've made it to the bitter end so that I can say a personal thank you to each and every one of you for being part of me right through to the end, because you guys really are the ones that mean the world to me. So thank you so much. Now, wherever in the world you are, guys, stay safe, stay well, and glow to the gods. Take care. Bye.